end this. So how many years have you been teaching?
Okay, so I've been teaching 16 years. I started, actually, my first year was a Title I teacher. And then I got placed in 5th grade, and then 4th, and then I taught a split. And then after that, I've been teaching 4th grade.
And you graduated from what school?
Grand Valley State University. But I do have my master's from Western.
What's a Title I school?
So essentially Title I is just based on your number of free and reduced lunch. And we don't really have a Title I position like teacher anymore. It's like your interventionists and that. A lot of those get paid with title money. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What made you want to be a teacher?
My first grade teacher, Mrs. Schroeder, did. She was there for me. My dad died when I was in first grade, so she made, she was just awesome anyway, but she always knew when you're having a good or bad day, and you could have a note in your locker, like when you need it the most. So she's just someone that made me want to be a teacher. Yeah.
Did you ever like have second thoughts like while you were in school or even like in the past few years?
Right.
That's like a big thing everyone says, like, oh, I'm quitting after 3 years. It's scary.
Yes, it is scary. I think the past couple years with COVID has made teaching incredibly difficult. Going back and forth with like virtual, in person, but also just recognizing that going to school is important, attendance is important, and yes, I mean, there's a lot that's asked of us as teachers. It depends on the group that you have, but yeah, that's why I think setting boundaries is super important.
What is your favorite subject to teach and why?
So I love teaching reading. I love creating a classroom community of readers. I love teaching science because it's a time to explore and be loud, where we're usually expecting kids to sit in their seat and listen, and they get to explore. I don't like writing's not always fun. I don't mind opinion writing. I don't mind informative. It's usually fun because they're learning something, but narrative is difficult only because some kids like have great ideas and they're creative, and it's so hard for kids that just get stuck and they're like, I don't know what to write, and even when you help them, it's tough.
And then it sounds like you do book groups. Is that what you do? You just have like, how do you decide? Is it based on their reading level or?
So I base my lit circles on interest.
Okay.
Some do reading levels, but I always whatever books I choose, I always have audiobooks or other ways if it's too difficult. But I like present 6 or 7 books like with book talks, and then I give them Post-its and they get to choose their top 2. And then it's kind of a lot of work, but top 2, and then I place them in groups, and then they're able to read in groups. We meet once a week, we set page goals, and we answer questions, and then it gets a little tricky. I mean, it's motivating for kids that aren't big readers.
Yeah.
But for the kids that love to read, it is fun too. And it's awesome when they're like, can we keep going? So
like if they can't keep going, do they just grab another book? Because I noticed some kids doing that.
Yes, and they're mad at me. But yes. Yes.
What is the most important piece of advice you could give to a future teacher?
Creating boundaries for yourself, because we definitely get wrapped into this and it becomes our life, but it's our job, and that's hard because we care a lot. But also creating relationships with kids is the most important thing, because they won't work for someone that doesn't care. So
what do you think is like most important in a school to run smoothly? Because I know you guys have so much support here, and that's not common, I don't think.
Yeah, we have a lot of things in place. I mean, we have like our positive behavior incentives like PBIS, but we are very fortunate with the amount of parapros and support that we have. Yeah.
And then what is your best classroom management skill?
I've had a lot of them, and it's changed over the years. We don't have like cards or anything up anymore because it's embarrassing, it's degrading, but I guess just whatever you choose, you just have to follow through with it, and holding students accountable for their behavior, but also in a kind way, which is hard.
What kind of like positive incentives do you use?
We mostly use our pause tickets here, and we do our best to pass them out when we see positive behavior. And we have a prize box, a weekly drawing in my class, and then we have a school weekly drawing, and then we recognize positive behavior with assemblies as well. There's no way that was 10 minutes.
I'm just